Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we started the Discordant Choir priority assignment, and to sum it up quick, it turns out there's a bunch of Psykers on this planet, like a very weird number of them, and the Adeptus Arbites who went in, none of them knew the right numbers. The files were erroneous at different points, and a bunch of Psykers escaped, and the ones we ended up capturing or dealing with were off-worlders. So everything's kind of called into question. Let's jump back into it and see what comes of it now. Subject: Potential Psychic Disaster. Location: Outhab Complex SC-71. An Arbites contingent has finally managed to round up a significant number of alleged Psykers, but their temporary encampment has come under attack by a rogue Astra Militarum regiment. They have the numbers to hold ground against infantry attack, but the traitors are bombarding the site with artillery. Immediate assistance is needed. Okay.
Complete. Transferring target coordinates of hostile artillery units to attack on Centaurium. Silence these guns before the Imperial finally is pounded into oblivion.
So, I've been thinking, I know, shocker. That's how so many of these videos start, just me, I've been thinking about something. But, I want your opinion on this. What music do you think really fits 40K?
Death is a journey.
Because a lot of the stuff is usually kind of Gregorian chants, very... that kind of just fits the description entirely, Gregorian chants. And while it works, I always feel like it's kind of missing something. I know some people would say stuff like, oh, you know what would fit with 40K? The Doom soundtrack, or the Doom Eternal soundtrack. Which, it works, I will give it that, but I feel like that's really predictable. I was thinking, it would fit for, like, a movie, but it would also, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really agree with it, but have like Supermassive Black Hole by Muse. This kind of rock with a little bit of electronic influence to it, as in terms of like a movie, it would be perfect for like a slow-mo scene of a drop pod coming in, the doors kick open, and you have these space marines just blasting away at orcs. You have a slow-mo of a bolter barrel with fire blasting out of it, and then a round just punching through an orc. You see an orc getting, like, chain-sworded in half. Something where it goes against expectations without being the classic, I need to, completely usurp your expectations, like every pretentious director has done in movies. If you really wanted to go complete usurp expectations, you'd have, like, Coolio's Gangster's Paradise playing. But that would just be... I think that's pretty out there. It would be funny for that one, but... I don't know, I just imagine some electronic music, but not too much. Because it's... 40K's always been less cyberpunk and more just straight dystopia. You could do stuff like doom metal, like Sun O. One I always think of is, It Took a Night to Believe, is the title I want to say. I haven't listened to it in a while, but like Sun O works. I wouldn't go as far as like black metal, like, I'm just trying to think. I don't listen to too much black metal. The stuff I usually hear is like Baphomet.
Reloading.
I just feel like it doesn't fit. Or if it were to fit, it would be just too on the nose, like have that playing while for like chaos. It's like, that's a little hitting the nail on the head. No, I was thinking about what music would fit in a game or a movie. Because the usual stuff is just kind of there. Because it's a similar problem I have with, like, EVE Online. Their music, it fits, but it's almost become cliche in its own right. Because it's like, oh, faint, opera-ish music, or in this case, Gregorian chants. You begin to expect it. Or at least it would fit if it was something a little unique. Like I remember for the Vampire Coast DLC in Total War Warhammer 2, the trailer had like a pirate sea shanty. And it was really good. You were expecting a sea shanty or something, but you expected a typical one, not one that was as good as what we got.
Recoil unclean.
But I will say I've always enjoyed music that doesn't fit but also kind of fits. Kind of the typical Tarantino-style music in a movie where it feels out of place, but then in the greater context, it actually fits really well. Great example being the music from, like, Django Unchained. Or some of the music from Kill Bill. Or thinking about it, there was the opera song from Fifth Element that it's the main song Plava Laguna sings while Lilu's beating all of the, I don't even remember the race of the guys, they're like the shapeshifters. Like, that's a really good song, and it has that perfect mix of like classic opera with more future / I guess because it was made as a modern movie, a modern twist on it, and I think it did a really good job in the setting. I'm definitely not, a big time like music snob or anything like that. I know people who are. I've always just kind of been like, hey, I like music. Like, there's stuff I listen to I know wouldn't fit within, like, 40K. Nuclear Fusion by King Gizzard, the Wizard Lizard. That wouldn't fit. Is it Wizard Lizard or Lizard Wizard? Either way. As much as I love that song and think it's good because it's pretty good psychedelic rock, it wouldn't fit. It's kind of like going with like something old school like Iron Butterflies in Agata Davida. great song. Could maybe fit, but once again it'd be kind of a going against expectations kind of deal. You know, dropship landing on a war-torn planet with Iron Butterfly playing in the background kind of deal. And whether or not that really fits or just exists to subvert expectations is up for debate. I've just always wondered, because 40K is a setting you don't hear about average people, so you don't really understand culturally what they would have. And some of the stuff kind of implies that there's effectively everything. You know, you have these planets that are effectively borderline feudal worlds where it's just people growing crops. You have places like Necromunda where it's hive cities. You have everything, anything and everything in between. So you would assume, because of that, culturally they'd be very diverse, musically they'd be very diverse. You'd probably have everything somewhere. I guess in a way any music would fit because of that. I don't know. I'm just kind of musing at this point. We have successfully interviewed, and most of the subjects survived. Preliminary examinations show there are no actual Psykers among the detainees, at least none that could be considered a danger. The authenticity of the entire report is very much questionable at this point. It turns out the commander of the rogue regiment was a known maverick and a zealot. He apparently received an inflammatory message from an anonymous source with the location of the Arbites. Encampment enclosed. In other words, someone manipulated him in an attempt to destroy evidence about the report's fraudulent nature. Very interesting. This gets curiouser and curiouser with every mission. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.